Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Chai with Gary. It's Friday night here, so we're going to talk about loads of different things today, but predominantly focusing on the United Chelsea game that's around the corner. We're also going to go into some of the issues about players themselves, Greenwood, attitudes, tactics, etc., etc. So, very quickly, Gary, welcome back.
Good to be back.
Good. So, we're feeling a little confident, aren't we, for the Chelsea game?
We've got two away wins,
Yeah, exactly.
but this time we're playing at home, so let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
Home
We don't have a
record's not
great
that
record
great.
at home, right?
Nah.
I
We'll
know.
see.
I know. So let's quickly start this off. How do you think the game will shape up? How do you think United will line up? What do you think the tactics will be?
Look, I think we need to start with the same formation again,
Yeah,
as we did against PSG. I think,
I think so.
the formation that Ole came up with was a revelation. We had so
Yeah.
much attacking width,
Hmm.
and we were constantly pushing PSG back. I think we've got to start with the same formation. I know there's a lot of there's a bit reluctance to go with that same formation because the last time we played with three at the back, we lost to Chelsea. So, but
Yeah.
then I think now that we tell us in there, gives us a bit more weight going forward. So I think I won't be surprised if we start with three at the back.
Yeah, I think three at the back is a good stable formation now that we have Teles who can whip some balls in. The only thing that I would change is the attitude of the players itself slightly. I think I'd put them, if I were playing FIFA 21 or whatever it is, I would just keep the mode as slightly more attacking rather than counter
Yeah.
attacking with Chelsea.
The
I
thing
think
is, man, the thing is, right? Like we know that our defense is not good.
yeah,
Chelsea's defense is probably worse. They're conceding goals left, right, and center. So we've got to go in there with a clear direction to win.
yeah,
Otherwise, we're good.
yeah.
You know,
I mean, they're coming home, right? So we should set ourselves to win the game, right?
we have to.
Yeah. So five at the back, I agree. I think Maguire might come in. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think he's still injured. I think
Injured?
maybe injured,
Yeah.
or maybe there's a confidence thing where Ole's like, Maguire take some time off. We've
Yeah.
got Tuanzebe there. He's going to
Yeah.
man the fort while you're away. Go on some R&R somewhere to Greece maybe. And then
And get into another fight, you reckon?
get into another fight maybe.
Ah!
but seriously, I think Maguire's probably not going to start. I think Ole already go with the same formation in the back.
Yeah.
The only thing, maybe we can talk a bit more when we get into the formations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do you expect Chelsea to do?
I think Chelsea are going to play four at the back.
Yeah.
Look, they've got good with. I mean, attacking wise, they're probably as good, if not better than
Not
us.
better. Yeah.
Werner's on good form. He's scoring goals left, right, and center. Harvard is slowly coming to the team.
Yeah.
And then you've got Pulisic there. You know,
And they
Ziyech.
have good bench players as well. Abraham can come in.
Yeah,
if
Tammy Abraham can come in and do a job. So
Yeah.
I think in terms of attacking, I think it's going to be quite on par with us.
Yeah.
But I think we've got to take the game to them and we've got to put some pressure on them. So I think they're going to line up with four at the back, three
Yeah.
in midfield, square
Yeah.
midfield, and then three up front.
I think so. That's usually Lampard's go-to formation anyway. I think he's going to be setting themselves to attack, and because if I were Chelsea, I'd be looking at United and say, okay, let's hit them where it hurts the most, and probably our defense is where they can hurt us as well, right? With their so I think it is,
And that's exactly
it's
why we've got to
close.
go with three at the back. We cannot go with just two centre backs. We're going to
Yeah.
get exposed.
Absolutely. I think their wing backs also are in similar sort of, I think, if not more attacking in their philosophies than us. So
But I think
that is
Reece James is injured
Oh, is he okay?
potentially, so
Mm.
that might be a good thing. So, um, you know, Chilwell is still there. Chilwell is doing a good job at
Chilwell's
left
doing
back.
well, yeah.
Yeah. So, it's going to be an interesting game.
Yeah, I
I'm
think it's
expecting
about
I'm expecting a lot of
yeah.
goals. I think this time, I know I said that about the PSG game, but I think this time we're
Yeah.
going to expect some goals.
Yeah, I think it's going to be whose attack performs better or shows up on the day will probably win the game,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't be surprised. But we'll get into that in a little more detail. So, with regards to United setting up, who do you think will start? You said five at the back.
Yeah. So De Gea at goal again. I think
Okay,
he did a really good job over for the
New-
PSG game.
as well as the Newcastle game. So I think he'll
Yeah,
start.
Newcastle as well. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So I think left back it's got to be Tellez.
yeah,
Left centre back Shaw's got to play there.
yeah,
And then Lindelof in the middle.
yeah.
Right centre back is I think Tuanzebe is going to start.
Right.
And the only trick I do is on the right
Yep.
wing back. I think
Uh huh.
I'm a bit. I'm actually thinking we should play Daniel James over there instead of
Oh,
Bisaka because I think if the honest is honest to attack, we've got to play an attacking player. I know Daniel James is, he's got his flaws and all that, but I think he could be one of the players who could potentially do really well on a right
okay.
wing back role. I think he'll give us a lot of pace, a lot of momentum going forward, and I think as
Yeah.
long as the instructions are clear on what he has to do, he's going to track back as well when he defends. So that's the only thing I'll change.
But it's going to be very hard to drop Bissaka after his last two games, right? He had a belter against Newcastle. He has a belter against PSG. Unless and until it's purely tactical, as you
Yeah,
said.
so this is what I'm saying, right? If we're going to go there with the intention of attacking, then
Yeah.
we've got to play. Wan Bissaka is a really, really good defender, right? But going forward, I think there's a lot to be desired. I
Yeah.
think with Daniel James, I think gives you a bit more impotence
Yeah.
to kind of attack on that flank
Okay.
and pace as well. So look,
I
that's how
mean,
I would do it. That's how what
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
would do.
Right.
Ole's maybe got another idea.
Yeah.
And then I would say go with that formation to start. Once you've
Yep.
scored a goal or two, then maybe
Yep.
switch the formation where keep the five at the back,
Mm-hmm.
and then take out James and bring in Wan Bissaka. That's what I would do.
Okay. I'd probably do it the other way around. That's just my opinion. I think I'll keep De Gea in goal. I'll start with Tellez on the left, Luke Shaw, Lindelof, and Axel. I would start with Van Bissaka 100% just to kind of shore up any attacks that come on the left with Chilwell in there and stuff like that. So they might be looking at that thing. So I want to shore up that while I attack from our left, which is in Tellez and stuff like that. But it's just different perspectives
Yeah.
within a
So
back five anyway.
the thing is, you can either go and defend first, or you can go and
Yeah.
attack first, depending on
Right.
what we decide to do. I think that's the only change I'd make, honestly.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So midfield, I think this is where I think we'll have to shift slightly from the PSG game. I want to hear your thoughts about it. How do you think it's going to shape up?
Look, Fred has got to start. Fred
Yeah.
has definitely got to start. He gives us a lot of energy in midfield, and he's look. We've already got three centre backs there. We don't need a Matic to come in there and sort of kind of hold up play. We need someone who's going to win the ball and pass it on to the front as quick as possible. And I think Fred's going to do that. So I definitely start Fred as
Yeah.
a sort of a ball-winning midfielder, not strictly a defensive midfielder. But his job is going to be to win the ball and basically pass it on to the front.
Yeah.
And then what
So
I
break
do,
up play and
break up play, win the ball, pass it on to the flanks, to the front.
Yeah.
And then I'll take off McTominay and
Yep.
I'd probably put Pogba there.
Okay.
So what I do is I play Fred at the
Yep.
back, and then Bruno and Pogba as the number 8. So not quite that forward, but obviously they've got a bit more freedom to kind of push forward if they have to. I think Pogba can excels in that role because what we've done in the past is that we've played him so far behind, where he's had really no impact on any of our attacks. So I changed that a bit.
Okay.
So that's midfield. And then up
So
front,
so your midfield is Bruno, Fred, and Pogba.
yeah,
Okay.
okay. And then up front, I'm hoping Cavani starts.
Yeah.
If he does, I'll play him with Rashford.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Right.
if Cavani doesn't start, then Igalo, I guess.
Okay. Makes sense. I'd probably go with Fred in the midfield. Pretty much holding or ball playing, probably slightly withdrawn.
Mm.
I want to see I want to see Van der Beek start, right? And I keep saying this every weekend. I really want to see him start. He'd probably play the Herrera type role that Herrera played when Hazard was playing back in the day, right? So I think I'd like to see him do a number on
But
the midfield, but I
the
don't
thing
know.
is, but thing is, like Van de Beek is he's got so much more to offer than Herrera, right? He's a lot more attacking. Like it doesn't look like it, but he's actually an attacking midfielder. Like
Yeah,
he keeps it simple. He keep all his when you look at him, he keeps all his passes simple. But when you really look at his game, he's very much suited to a number 10 role. So I think playing him at the back, like I don't know how well he's going to do it, especially because he's
I,
going to be very physical there as well.
look, I would start him to do a similar sort of role as Herrera. Maybe he'd get an opportunity to go forward. I don't know, but I'd like to see him
Mm,
start regardless in the kind
mm,
of role that he's offered. I'd like to see him
yeah,
start.
yeah.
I and Bruno. I'd like to bring Pogba probably later in the game to influence it a little bit more.
So you're starting
Exactly
Fred,
like
you're starting
Fred, Van
Fred,
de
Van de
Beek,
Beek,
and
and
Bruno.
okay.
Fred, Van de Beek, Bruno.
Mm,
Depending on how those three kind of want to play, or
mm.
Solskjaer says
Dude, one
assigns.
thing we've agreed: McTominay doesn't start, right?
Of
I
course
mean,
not, dude.
please, yeah.
I don't think he
There's
starts. I
no
don't think
way
he
he
starts this
starts.
game. I don't think he starts this game unless we want to set ourselves to be defensive, right?
Defensive, yeah.
Yeah. If we set ourselves to be that, then obviously
Even
Van de
then,
Beek won't start and Scott McTominay.
I'd probably bring in Matic for Fred or something like that. I mean, there's no point bringing McTominay. I don't know what he offers different from the other players we already have. You know,
Look, that's you and me talking, right? I think Solskjaer's favorite soldier is McTominay, and it's very hard to fight his preference right now. He has these players that he goes to when things aren't going as well as he'd like, and that's like it for most managers. And I think McTominay is in his good books. I don't know why, I don't know how, but
because
either
he runs
he,
everywhere.
correct. That's
Yeah.
probably it's
So
like a
good.
very John O'Shea type player that
Yeah.
played for Ferguson, right? So it's very similar in terms of quality. But anyway, so those three will be my midfield, as you said. Cavani, if he starts, he starts with Rashford. If not, now this is where I think we got to dig, and probably a segue for a slightly different conversation is Greenwood. There've been a lot of reports, man, about his discipline and stuff like that. I'd like to see him start against Chelsea, but will it happen? I'm not sure.
Hmm.
If Cavani is not fit, that is obviously.
The thing I'd say about the reports is we don't know if it's true or not. A lot of reporters have reported it, and knowing Manchester United, everything's handled back doors, like
Yeah,
behind the media. So I think with respect to Greenwood, I think he's on a really thin line with Solskjaer. I think
yeah.
he's had that thing in Iceland with the
Iceland as well,
girls,
right?
and then this one with I think end of the day, like he's a young kid and all that, but I think
Yeah.
he needs to have better role models around him. I don't know who his friends are. Maybe that's the problem. When you're young at that age, you've all got urges to do different things and all that. So he's just got to buckle down. And look at Rashford, right?
Yeah.
Rashford, 22 is not much, lot older than Greenwood, and look at the things he's doing. So I think Rashford has to really take Greenwood under his wing and maybe
Yeah.
sort of mentor him and kind of coach him, and be a professional that we know he can be.
I think he's in good hands, Gary. I think, you know what? I think
Yeah.
Carrick being a club legend
And
and
I think
Solskjaer
it's
being a
all blown
club
out of
legend.
proportion. I think it's just the media trying to get stories and all that. I think.
I don't think it's that. I think there's some truth to it. That's my personal belief. And I can imagine this could happen to an 18-year-old, and I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt saying he's 18-year-old, 18. As you said, there are certain things that kids do, and I mean, we were once 18 as well,
But
right? So
okay, let me put it. Let me ask you this, right? Okay, if Greenwood was scoring every weekend,
Yeah,
like, would this still be a big story? That's the question I have.
probably, probably.
But if you're scoring goals and you're winning,
Mhm.
you're winning. You're getting match-winning performances. You know,
I mean,
you get
it doesn't matter about how he's doing personally. It's just they need to fill up the white space, right? Journalists. It doesn't matter how well the person is doing or not, right?
Yeah,
The question doesn't really. The question I think revolves around certain different things, and him being 18 is probably one of the more important things. And yes, he's not been punctual. Yes, he's not done this. Maybe there's some truth to it. I don't know. I don't want to read too deeply into it. But there are certain concerns. He's young and things are bound to happen. But he has like good mentors in Carrick, who's been a club legend, done everything at the highest level. Yeah, Solskjaer, who's kind of lived and breathed the United way, right? So I think there will be some mentorship there. He could look at different role models. Look, we don't know if he's enjoying his life. All he needs to realize is he's enjoying life because he's a good footballer and he can become great. Now, I don't want him to become a Van der Water or something like that, right? He was a
yeah,
great kid with great talent, but he kind of pissed it all away, right? So
yeah.
anyway, that's about Greenwood. I don't think I want Cavani to start, but I don't think he will. I don't think he's fit enough to make the starting lineup. I think he might come in later on in the game.
The only reason I think Cavani will play is because I think Ole doesn't really fancy Igalo.
Yeah,
That's the only
of
reason.
course.
And Martial's obviously out, so he's
Yeah.
out of options to play up front. Um, so I think
I,
his hands might be forced. And if Greenwood's
yeah.
out as well, then
Greenwood's out as well. Then he leaves him no option, right?
yeah. So then there you go, right? So
Yeah. So I think I'm a little more confident about the Chelsea game, but anything can happen. But what do you think? What do you think will be the final score? What's your score prediction?
oh, this is getting harder and harder. Uh, I'm gonna say 3-2 to United.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go for a 2-2 draw, dude.
2-2.
I
Come on.
I think that's what will end up
Come on,
happening.
man. Come on. When are you going to predict some wins? Come on.
Dude,
What do I have to do to you to get some wins?
man, look, there are a couple of things that are influencing these decisions, right? I think that I know their forward line is a little more clinical than ours when it comes to either experience or that
Oh, we
touch
have De
more.
Gea. De Gea. We got Tuan Zibi. Come on.
Yeah, well, look, this is how I feel, right? I think their forward line is slightly better than us, and they're coming from a game that's a hard fought game with Sevilla. I think they drew that. That'll definitely be on their minds. They drew the previous game, having led for most of the game. You know, they kind of spilt it at the probably towards the very end. I think they drew against. I can't remember who they drew against in the league, but the the team that they played against came back very late in the game to kind of this thing. So that will play on their minds. Uh, it probably boils down to whose attack is better on the day. And the second thing it boils down to is whose manager is smarter, right?
Yeah.
So because Lampard and Solskjaer had last season, I think Solskjaer kind of wrapped Lampard in his web, but yeah, you never know who's going to show up with their tactical expertise, I guess.
Yeah. That's why we love the
So I'm going to go
EPL.
2-0, 2 all. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we've covered quite a bit, no?
Yeah. I think we're probably approaching that time and we've got to wrap it up. So
Yeah, fair enough. So look, we'll probably watch the game and then do another video post, huh?
yeah, we'll do a review for sure. All right, guys. Yeah, thanks for watching the video. Please hit a like on the video and also please subscribe to the channel if you like the content. Until then, see you.